Our video today is about the things you need to know before, during, and after the NCLEX-RN exam. A good resource for you is the website of the National Council of State Boards of Nursing. You can get an NCLEX exam candidate bulletin to guide you how to go through this entire process. So the first step is registering to take the exam. The initial step in the registration process is to submit an application to the State Board of Nursing in the state in which you intend to obtain licensure. You need to obtain information from the Board of Nursing regarding the specific registration process because the process may vary from state to state. Following the registration instructions and completing the registration forms precisely and accurately are important. Registration forms not properly completed or not accompanied by the proper fees in the required method of payment will be returned to you and will delay testing. You must pay a fee for taking the exam. You also may have to pay additional fees to the Board of Nursing in the state in which you are applying. Once you are eligible to test, you will receive an authorization to test form. You cannot make an appointment until you receive an ATT form. Note the validity dates on the ATT form and schedule a testing date and time before the expiration date on the ATT form. The NCLEX Exam Candidate Bulletin provides you with the directions for scheduling an appointment. You do not have to take the exam in the same state in which you are seeking licensure. The ATT form contains important information, including your test authorization number, candidate identification number, and validity date. You need to take your ATT form to the testing center on the day of your exam. You will not be admitted to the exam if you do not have it, so take note. You have to have your ATT form when you take the exam. Next is changing your appointment. If for any reason you need to change your appointment to test, you can make the change on the candidate website or by calling candidate services. Again, refer to the website, NCSBN website. If you fail to arrive for the exam or fail to cancel your appointment to test without providing appropriate notice, you will forfeit your exam fee and your ATT form will be invalidated. This information will be reported to the Board of Nursing in the state in which you have applied for licensure, and you will be required to register and pay the testing fees again. And on the day of the exam, it is important that you arrive at the testing center at least 30 minutes before the test is scheduled. If you arrive late for the scheduled testing appointment, you may be required to forfeit your exam appointment. If it is necessary to forfeit your appointment, you will need to re-register for the exam and pay an additional fee. The Board of Nursing will be notified that you did not take the test. A few days before your scheduled date of testing, take the time to drive to the testing center to determine its exact location, the length of time required to arrive at that destination, and any potential obstacles that might delay you, such as road construction, traffic, or parking sites. In addition to the ATT form, you must have proper identification, such as a U.S. driver's license, passport, U.S. state ID, or U.S. military ID to be admitted to take the exam. All acceptable identification must be valid and not expired and contain a photograph and signature in English. In addition, the first and last names on the ID must match the ATT form. Any name discrepancies require legal documentation, such as a marriage license, divorce decree, or court action, legal name change. Testing accommodations. If you require testing accommodations, you should contact the Board of Nursing before submitting a registration form. The Board of Nursing will provide the procedures for the request. The Board of Nursing must authorize testing accommodations. Following Board of Nursing approval, the NCSBN reviews the requested accommodations and must approve the request. If the request is approved, the candidate will be notified and provided the procedure for registering for and scheduling the exam. Testing Center. The testing center is designed to ensure complete security of the testing process. Strict candidate identification requirements have been established. You will be asked to read the rules related to testing. A digital fingerprint and palm vein print will be taken. A digital signature and photograph will also be taken at the testing center. These identity confirmations will accompany the NCLEX exam results. In addition, if you leave the testing room for any reason, you may be required to perform these identity confirmation procedures again to be readmitted to the room. Personal belongings are not allowed in the testing room. All electronic devices must be placed in a sealable bag provided by the test administrator and kept in a locker. Any evidence of tampering with the bag could result in the need to report the incident in test cancellation. A locker and locker key will be provided for you. However, storage space is limited, so you must plan accordingly. In addition, the testing center will not assume responsibility for your personal belongings. The testing waiting areas are generally small. Friends or family members who accompany you are not permitted to wait in the testing center while you are taking the exam. Once you have completed the admission process, the test administrator will escort you to the assigned computer. You will be seated at the individual workspace area that includes computer equipment, appropriate lighting, an erasable noteboard, and a marker. No items, including an authorized scratch paper, are allowed into the testing room. Eating, drinking, or the use of tobacco is not allowed in the testing room. You will be observed at all times by the test administrator while taking the exam. In addition, video and audio recordings of all test sessions are made. The testing center has no control over the sounds made by typing on the computer by others. If the sounds are distracting, raise your hand to summon the test administrator. Earplugs are available on request. You must follow the directions given by the testing center staff and must remain seated during the test, except when authorized to leave. If you think you have a problem with the computer, need a clean noteboard, need to take a break, or need a test administrator for any reason, you must raise your hand. You are also encouraged to access the NCSBN candidate website to obtain additional information about the physical environment of the testing center and to view a virtual tour of the testing center. The testing time. The maximum testing time is 6 hours. This period includes the tutorial, the sample items, all breaks, and the exam. All breaks are optional. The first optional break will be offered after 2 hours of testing. The second is offered after 3.5 hours of testing. Remember that all breaks count against testing time. If you take a break, you must leave the testing room, and when you return, you may be required to perform identity confirmation procedures to be readmitted. Length of the exam. The minimum number of questions that you will need to answer is 75. Of the 75 questions, 60 will be operational scored questions, and 15 will be pre-test unscored questions. The maximum number of questions in the test is 265. The pre-test questions are questions that may be presented as scored questions in future exams. These pre-test questions are not identified as such. In other words, you do not know which questions are the pre-test unscored questions. However, these pre-test unscored questions will be administered among the first 75 questions in the test. Pass or fail decisions. All exam questions are categorized by test plan area and level of difficulty. This is an important point to keep in mind when you consider how the computer makes a pass or fail decision, because a pass or fail decision is not based on the percentage of correctly answered questions. The NCSBN indicates that a pass or fail decision is governed by three different scenarios. The first scenario is the 95% confidence interval rule, in which the computer stops administering test questions when it is 95% certain that the test taker's ability is clearly above the passing standard or clearly below the passing standard. The second scenario is known as the maximum length exam, in which the final ability to estimate of the test taker is considered. If the final ability estimate is above the passing standard, the test taker passes. If it is below the passing standard, the test taker fails. The third scenario is the run out of time rule. If the exam ends because the test taker ran out of time, the computer may not have enough information with 95% certainty to make a clear pass or fail decision. If this is the case, the computer will review the test taker's performance during testing. If the test taker has not answered the minimum number of required questions, the test taker fails. If the test taker's ability estimate was consistently above the passing standard on the last 60 questions, the test taker passes. If the test taker's ability estimate falls below the passing standard even once, the test taker fails. Completing the exam. When the exam has ended, you will complete a brief computer-delivered questionnaire about your testing experience. After you complete this questionnaire, you need to raise your hand to summon the test administrator. The test administrator will collect an inventory on noteboards and then permit you to leave. Processing results. Every computerized exam is scored twice. Once by the computer at the testing center and again after the exam is transmitted to the test scoring center. No results are released at the testing center. Testing center staff do not have access to exam results. The Board of Nursing receives your result and your result will be mailed to you approximately 6 weeks after you take the exam. In some states, an unofficial result can be obtained via the Quick Results Service 2 business days after taking the exam. I got mine 1 day after I took my exam, my unofficial result. I paid around $9 at that time. I don't know exactly how much you have to pay for now. So there is a fee for this service, and information about obtaining your NCLEX result by this method can be obtained on the NCSBN website under Candidate Services. Candidate Performance Report. A candidate performance report is provided to a test taker who failed the exam. This report provides the test taker with information about her or his strengths and weaknesses in relation to the test plan framework and provides a guide for studying and retaking the exam. If a retake is necessary, the candidate must wait 45 days between exam administration, depending on state procedures. Test takers should refer to the State Board of Nursing in the state in which licensure is sought for procedures regarding when the exam can be taken again. Interstate Endorsement and Nurse Licensure Compact. Because NCLEX-RN exam is a national exam, you can apply to take the exam in any state. When licensure is received, you can apply for interstate endorsement, which is obtaining another license in another state to practice nursing in that state. The procedures and requirements for interstate endorsement may vary from state to state, and these procedures can be obtained from the State Board of Nursing in the state in which endorsement is sought. It may be possible to practice nursing in another state under the mutual recognition model of nursing licensure if the state has enacted a nurse licensure compact. To obtain information about the nurse licensure compact and the states that are part of this interstate compact, again, access the NCSBN website. The foreign educated nurse. An important first step in the process of obtaining information about becoming a registered nurse in the U.S. is to access the NCSBN website and obtain information provided for international nurses in the NCLEX website link. It will provide you with the information about some of the documents you need to obtain as an international nurse seeking licensure in the U.S. and about credentialing agencies. So, here's the list of the documents you need to obtain or you need to gather or present to the Board of Nursing to obtain licensure. First is a proof of citizenship or lawful alien status. That can be your passport. Second is work visa. In my case, when I took my exam in Saipan, I applied for a visiting agreement. This is equivalent to visa, which is required for nurses just to take the exam. Third is visa screen certificate. Fourth, CGFNS certificate. 5 is criminal background check document. This can be obtained from the National Bureau of Investigation or Federal Bureau of Investigation if you are in the Philippines. Number 6 is your transcript of records. Along with that is your related learning experience. Number 7. 8 is board certificate. 9, nursing license or diploma. You should have it from the Professional Regulation Commission. 10 is proof of proficiency in the English language. It can be IELTS, International English Language Testing System, or TOEFL, test of English as a foreign language. 11 is photograph. 12 is social security number. I'm not sure about this because if you're out of the US, then I don't know exactly how you can obtain this. 13 is application and fees. So those are the documents you need to obtain to or to present to the Board of Nursing. Our last topic is pathways to success. So in order to be successful or pass the exam, you need to follow a certain pathway. So first one is foundation. You need to maintain a strong positive attitude. Think about your short-term and long-term realistic goals. Make a list of those goals in a journal. Develop a plan for preparation and maintain control. If you develop a plan for study, you have to ask yourself, do I work better alone or in a study group? If I work best in a group, how many study partners should I have? Who are the study partners? How long should my study sessions last? Does the time of day that I study make a difference? Do I retain more if I study in the morning? How does my work schedule affect my study pattern? How do I balance my family obligations with my need to study? Do I have a comfortable study area at home, or should I find another environment that is conducive to my study needs? After all these plans have been laid, you also need to pamper yourself. Don't forget yourself. Positive momentum can be maintained only if you are properly balanced. Proper exercise, diet, and positive mental stimulation are crucial to achieving your goal of becoming a registered nurse. It is your choice to do aerobics, walking, weightlifting, bowling, or whatever makes you feel good about yourself. Time spent away from the hard study schedule and devoted to some fun and physical exercise will give you more energy with a schedule that includes these activities. Final preparation. Review and identify goals you've achieved. Remain focused to complete the plan of study. Plan a test drive to the testing center days before the test to get yourself familiarized and to alleviate your anxiety and nervousness. On the day of the exam, groom yourself. Eat a nutritious breakfast. Maintain a confident and positive attitude. Maintain control. Take a deep breath and focus. Meet the challenges of the day. And congratulate yourself for reaching the peak of the pyramid to success.